All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Clannad After Story, Episode 3. Sanai is pretending to be
Sunohara's girlfriend.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Of all the like skit-based comedy like bits that I thought that they would do in this show, this never could have conceivably been in my list.
Daunting, scary reputation for Clannad After Story. What we get.
This shit. Just this.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, Sunohara's sister gonna have to deal with this fact that, you know, her brother is a MILF hunter, you know, like clearly. Now, if anything, he's just hunting for love of any kind. This poor boy doesn't even get the respect like from his good friend Okazaki.
If anything, we'll need to make sure that it's not too unbelievable, you know, that he could land such a hot babe as Sanai, right? Yeah.
And not have, you know, a very specific bat-wielding bastard come in and beat the shit out of him.
that too. But I mean, I like to think that even though Akio would come up with the bat and be like, okay, we have a problem here, son, right? He would also be like, but respect, yes.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome if you had my wife as a girlfriend, wouldn't it? But she's not, you know.
I would also just say the easiest way to get to her heart is just find a way to make her believe you consume her bread ad nauseum with gusto.
Yep.
And then you've literally won her heart at that point.
Right, you know, but yeah, this isn't, you know, Nagisa's mom. This is Nagisa's older sister.
Right. That's true.
Yep.
Yes. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, now she fully jumps into the lie.
Yep. No. You definitely haven't stayed at my house.
Nah, she figured it out. And she's going in with the whole thing here.
Yeah. That would be really sweet.
Oh, I think it's 100% what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, May has been shown to be dramatically intelligent. Like,
just a bit.
And almost cunning as well. Like,
oh, definitely. Like, she is a devious, scheming little gremlin.
Origairu is after Clannad and all that, right?
Oh, totally.
Like, totally?
Yeah. 100%.
Like, okay.
100%.
Because I'm getting the vibe that the little sister in Origairu might have taken a little bit of...
I would not be surprised.
Did May just almost trip or something there? What was that?
I think maybe.
Oh.
Literally holding hands and skipping.
I cannot believe this. This is amazing. We're going to the arcade! Yeah. She looked at the camera! What? What is the fourth wall?
Yep. They don't care about that.
Yeah, he's gonna come out here, Oh. What's going on? Oh, bullying. Nice. She's like, that's what a big brother's supposed to do.
Yeah.
に出て帰り道がわからなくなってしまったみたいです。私この子たちのお家を探してあげたいんですけど。
Side quest.
大丈夫、ちゃんと帰れますよ。
お兄ちゃん、
お前な。
お洋服に名札がついてます。よかった、裏に住所も書いてある。ここならすぐ近くです。さあ行きましょうか。
Oh.
よかったね。お家
Why aren't they talking?
お前もいつまでもふてくされてないでこっち来いよ。
陽平くん怒ってますか？
別にいいっすけどね。でもせっかくのデートだったのにな。
お兄ちゃん、まだそんなこと言って。陽平くん、そんなに拗ねないでください。陽平くんさえ良ければまたお会いしたいと思います。
マジっすか？
こんな風に私と一緒にいる時間を大切に思ってくれるのは嬉しいです。でも時にはもっと大事なこともあります。それを忘れずにいてくださいね。
わかりました。
Gotcha. Wait, there's the Dango families.
こんにちは、岡崎。それと便座カバー。ずいぶん浮かれてるな。
Wow, he
飯食いに
remembered.
行こうぜ。それと便座カバー。俺は飯だけでいい。あ、でも早苗さんから言われてるんだよね。食生活とか。それと便座カバー。
His little uwu mouth.
姉
Yep.
ちゃん、昨べもお前のこと心配してたぞ。
She was.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that?
肝心のお前は相変わらずだって。確かに早苗さんのためにもちゃんと考えないとね。将来のこととか。それと便座カバー。
You know you're not actually dating her, right?
Yeah.
子供の頃はなりたいものがいっぱいあったな。サッカー選手、パイロット、先生、それと
And those are the girls in the background of that hallway scene.
Oh, were
there.
they?
Yeah.
どれもなるのが難しそうだな。
He actually added the toilet
Yeah.
seat cover.
便座カバーってつけるだけで真面目な話がぶち壊した。じゃあそんなのやめればいいじゃん。お前がや
Oh,
るがなんだっけ。
Another.
Gaslighting your best friend.
Yep.
恋する男は心が広いのさ。
He's having a pork cutlet bowl.
Yep.
放課後電話が来ることになってるんだ。本気で僕に惚れちゃったんだね。篠原。
You remember?
少しはメイちゃんのことも。僕が早苗さんと、お前が渚ちゃんと結婚したら、僕ら兄弟だね。
No.
よろしく頼むね。我が弟よ。つまりさ、もともと僕の様子を見るなんてただの口実だったんだよ。こいつ昔から都会に憧れてたから、こっちで遊びたかったのさ。だろ？
そうだよ。
ほーら。
でもそれだけじゃないんだよ。こっちに好きな人がいるから会いに来たの。
好きな人？
Now she's pulling.
知り合った人。
Uh-huh.
すごく大人でいろんな遊びを教えてくれるの。
She's pulling the game on him now.
私のことすごく可愛いって言ってくれるし。
Does seem like
ちょっ
it.
と待て。
恋愛って素晴らしいよね、お兄ちゃん。
待てって、それどこの
これから会うことになってるの。もう行かなくちゃ。
Huh, you're worried, aren't you?
お兄ちゃんも大人の恋愛を楽しんでね。
Yeah.
メイちゃん、待ってください。
That was a cool, like,
お前
angle
も追いかけない
shot.
と。でも早苗さんから電話があるといけないし。まだそんなこと言ってるのかよ。もし相手が立ち悪いやつだったらどうするんだ。でも恋愛は自由だしね。
Oh, there's all these little details that they show in the visuals here. Yeah.
お兄ちゃん。
残念ながら俺だ。
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Ow. It-
私、小さい頃よく近所の男の子に泣かさ
So
れてた
that
ん
made
で
her
す。
think about.
でもそんな時いつもお兄ちゃんが助けてくれました。私が泣いてると必ずお兄ちゃんが飛んできてくれるんです。目を泣かすんじゃねえ。
Oh. So he bleached his hair in like high school or something.
心
Yeah,
強かったです
gotcha.
あんなの本当のお兄ちゃんじゃない。
He was pretty cool
お
then.
兄ちゃんは
Yeah.
いじめられてる女の子見捨てたりしないもん。私のことだって心配してくれるはずだもん。岡崎さん、お兄ちゃんの
Yep,
恋人
yep.
って
She's too smart for that shit.
Right.
今日も篠原とデートですか。
この間のやり直しということで。もう変装しなくてもいいんじゃないでしょうか。なんとなく この格好でしまって。
おい、何やってんだ。
So cute!
一目でお母さんだと見破りました。
Of course!
秋代さん、これはですね。お母さん、しです。
なんだ
Look at his sly look! He's like,
お
right.
芝居の練習をしてたんです。
芝居
And you didn't invite me.
Yeah.
早苗さんに稽古を手伝ってもらおうと思って。
しかし、どれもこれも女物の衣装。
He's like, I can't join.
Yeah.
いいから先に行ってください。
それではいろいろ考え中で。
お、早苗はどこ行った
きっと照れくさくて逃げ出したんだよ。
いくつになっても初々しいやつで。で、今度はどんな台本なんだ
今回も
This is amazing.
今行き詰まってるみたいだから話聞いてやってくれ。
Oh, my daughter needs advice?
探してくるよ。
おう、任せてけ。
待ち合わせの場所ここじゃなく。
They're playing Frogger, basically passing the ball around without him seeing it. That
Yep.
was so good.
まあ、早苗さんなら任せておいても大丈夫だろ
Yeah, it's Sanai.
Yeah.
Should just throw bread at someone if they come at her.
Exactly. Knock them out cold.
Give them a full-on
Concussion.
disease or something. You know?
岡崎さんが本当のお兄さんだったらいいな。
う。本当にそう思ってるか
本当ですよ。
なら試しに兄のように接してくれよ。
兄のようにですか？
I mean, you have the same hair color.
Right.
お兄ちゃん。どうしたのお兄ちゃん？
いや、思ったより破壊
Ugh, super effective.
Yeah. So cute.
変なお兄ちゃん。
Ugh.
これはやばい。お兄ちゃん禁止だ。
Ugh.
お兄ちゃんって呼んじゃダメなの？お兄ちゃん。
やっぱりやめないでくれ。
That was acting like Sunahara.
Yeah.
Ah!
いつから
Just dropped the ice cream cone.
お兄ちゃんって呼ばせてるの。
Yeah, look at.
違う。これには訳が。
私たち何も
Wait, you didn't see anything.
する。逃げるわよ。
違うんだ。やっぱりお兄ちゃん禁止。いや、やっぱり禁止は。
Ugh.
これがいいです。こんなの見たことないです。
プリンセス。確かに見たことね。
2,000 yen.
値
Yep.
段もプリンセス級じゃねえか。
Uh-huh.
すごいぜ女の子。ほら、こっちのマハラジャクレープ。
お兄ちゃん。メイ、プリンセスクレープが食べたいの。は
Wow.
あ、すごく美味しいです。
That is as big as her head.
Yep. There is no way she'll be able to eat that whole thing.
一口だけ。
いちごのとこ食べたい。
Isn't that a strawberry right
いい
there?
って言ったから。
好きなフレームを選んでね。
どれにする？
Oh, is it like a photo booth
これ
thing?
がいいです。
よし
I think so.
それでは撮
Yeah,
影
yeah.
を始めるよ。
Aw.
いしし。
Blackmail.
Yes, yes, bribery. Yeah. Oh, Sunahara. Mm. God, that face.
Mm-hmm.
これどういうこと？
お兄ちゃんには関係ない。返して。
ああ、とうとうバレ
I'm the guy.
あお前の想像通りさ、メイちゃんの彼氏ってのは俺のことなんだよ。お前、渚ちゃんはどうしたんだ？ああ、あいつとは別れるよ。夕べも
This is
姉ちゃん
actually kinda
俺ん家に
mean.
泊まったんだ
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
メイ
そうだよ。岡崎さんと
Yeah.
二人きりだ
This
ったん
is
だ
this is
から。
mean.
Yep.
The joke's gone on long enough.
行こう
Okay.
か。
Oh, and
はい。
even when May did that the first time of saying like I have a boyfriend, they were like, "Hey, that's going a bit far." Like,
I don't think he actually believes it, but
right. But either
tell-
way, it's
he can tell that it's a mean joke.
uh-huh. Yeah.
なんでそうなるのさ。
Yeah. You think that helped, Okazaki?
と思って出任せを言ってみたんだ。少しは
This is
頼りになる
Sunahara we're talking about.
見せてくれると思ったんだけどな。
Were you though?
お兄ちゃんは私のことなんかどうでもいいみたいです。絶対にそんなことないです。
Yeah, you tell him, Nagisa.
やっぱり嘘はよくない
Yeah.
です。
Yeah.
岡崎さん、私やっぱりお兄ちゃんにもう一度サッカーをしてもらいたいです。 サッカーを始めれば前みたいなお兄ちゃんになってくれるんじゃないでしょうか。
Meaning he needs new friends, basically?
難しいと思うぞ。篠原とサッカー部の間に何があったか、メイちゃんも知ってるだろう。
でも私それしかないと思うんです。
What did happen between him and the soccer team?
I don't remember.
I don't think that's been even, like, gotten into, like, specifically.
Yeah. They might have at some point a while ago, but it would have been a while ago.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
We got
so-
ourselves some drama.
Yep,
Sunahara has escalated things with the Sanai relationship because the lie is working so well on him because he's kind of an idiot. That, okay, this is actually something that he's focusing a lot of his energy on. But because of that, he ends up missing basically the signs that his sister is there for a specific reason, that she's not communicating properly, therefore bringing into a situation where all the other people start taking sides in this situation to where it's like, we need to make Sunahara kind of realize through some kind of like really obscure, like painful way that he's an idiot for not paying attention to the signs.
Yeah,
and it's
the-
okay, this is going too far.
I like to think of this arc as the arc that basically deals with the fact that, like you said, Sunahara is an idiot. The problem is that it's not just something where it's Sunahara dealing with it. It's everyone else's feelings on the matter coming to light. And the thing is that it's not always their place to have that happen.
Nope.
We're looking at you, Okazaki.
Yep, very much so.
May being like, hey, I'm concerned about my brother, and so I'm visiting, and I want to see if he's okay and everything, and the things that they do to try and make her be like, yeah, Tsunohara's doing great.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, it's all fun gags and everything, but then that doesn't resolve it, and she's like, no, I'm still worried, and it's not really acknowledged or respected, and she's also not like I feel like it's something where because she can tell that they're doing things to make her feel better, they aren't actually being honest with her, and so then she isn't honest with them about her concerns and what they are specifically, because she doesn't just want the concern to be addressed, right?
She wants something else, yeah. She wants her brother to be the same as he was before.
Right.
And the thing is that that's not necessarily going to happen.
Nope.
One of the things that is really important to understand when you are in a relationship with somebody that goes for long periods of time, for instance, and say you have a bit of time where they move away and you come back and you notice that they've changed.
Yep.
That happens. People change.
Sure.
I would say that after a certain age, people are going to stay kind of a little bit more the same than change, But when you're younger, that's going to happen in dramatic ways.
Yep.
And thus, it is unfair, I would say, but also she's just a little bit immature, to expect that he would be the exact same doting older brother that, that she remembers from back then.
The way I kind of see it is that since Sunahara and Okazaki are like the delinquents of the school, right? They're the people who basically had a bad time of this whole experience of this stage in their life and in society and in school and things like that.
Expectations were had of them that they failed to keep in the societal sense, and thus they are outcasts.
With various different details and examples and results and stuff for each of them. And Sunahara's current idiocy seems like it's a result of that. It's maybe the way that he copes with it as a deflection and all of that stuff.
Sure.
And, so that he can kind of be in his own little reality and not have to look at it too closely. Right.
Yep.
Who knows how accurate that is, but that's, that could be an explanation, right? And so May comes along and she sees that he's different. And theoretically, she could maybe get what she wants out of this if she were upfront about it and being like, hey, I remember what you were like. I want my brother back. Right.
And I'm kind of worried that you're going in a direction that is not going to leave you happy or what have
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
And what happens to you affects me because I care about you. So,
Yeah, that's where things get actually really fuzzy, though, because it doesn't actually directly affect her until she becomes aware of it. By being here...
Sure.
But that's my point. By being here, she actually now has to then observe both
if the act was a perfect act that May couldn't see through, then theoretically the problem's resolved, right? From the standpoint, at the very least, May not suffering as an indirect result of whatever Tsunohara is going through, right?
Yep.
But she does care about him, but the problem is that Tsunohara's way of dealing with things is so deflecting and not staring it in the face that she doesn't reasonably believe, I'm guessing, that if she were to be open like that he would actually respond in kind, that might actually make him sort of shy away, right? Because it's I haven't been willing to deal with that up until now.
Yeah.
Just because you're putting me on the spot about it, that's not going to change anything, right?
Yeah.
And so, okay, now we're in this situation. And then Okazaki comes along and he has even less patience with Tsunohara.
Well, that's the other thing. He's not even just like impatient. He's actively trying to find ways in which he can kind of make this into a fun thing for him, while kind of getting a bit of a dig on Tsunohara in a way that feels really, really, really tricky here, because I don't see any empathy for the situation here coming from Okazaki.
Nope.
It just feels really, really blasé.
And the thing is that to give Okazaki the best benefit of the doubt, right? They've been friends together for a decent amount of time, so it's perfectly possible that Okazaki has maybe tried to be helpful for Tsunohara or something in the past, and it just doesn't work because Tsunohara is really dead set on his whole way of doing things that he's in right now.
Yes, I actually 100% agree. I'm just saying that actually because of that, he would actually have better insight into understanding Tsunohara than even we would as the audience.
And the vibe that I tend to get from this is that this is one of the ways in which Okazaki makes himself feel better, because he is currently roped into the same kind of group as Tsunohara at the school. You're both the delinquents. And the thing is that Tsunohara has kind of accepted that and tried to lean into that as a way to make himself feel better.
Sure.
Whereas Okazaki, for the most part, doesn't, and he kind of resents that he's had this put upon him when he hasn't necessarily had anything to do with it, right? It's a lot of stuff with his... Yeah, because a lot of this stuff comes from situations with his dad and things like that. I can't remember what exactly problems with his dad led to him not doing well at school or things like that. I can't remember. And so as a result, he just was this the prickly kind of person, right? And and things like that. And then he gets labeled a delinquent. What I feel like it was something along. I could be wrong, but it was something sort of along those lines where personal life at home that was as a result of something he couldn't control, his dad, ended up affecting him to the point where then he is now the school delinquent, right?
Okay.
And I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
But so he sees Tsunohara doing all of this stuff, right? And it's I'm not like you. I'm not being an idiot about this and stuff. I'm not doing all the ridiculous shit that you do. So I'll make you do things to entertain me, so that way I can feel that bit of separation. That
feels like a really good read. I just felt like it was
what's your read?
Well, no, it just feels like it was something where the intent behind it is not as clear cut at this point. I'm just looking at the result as much as possible.
Yes, he is.
He's not considering the feelings of Tsunohara that much, really, in this instance here. Regardless of whether it's for a joking matter or to, create some separation in that he doesn't want to be identified with Tsunohara.
Right.
Because that feels a little bit like a thing of where if he didn't want to do that, he just wouldn't hang out with Tsunohara.
Right. He's having fun at Tsunohara's expense.
Yeah.
And
because I think he actually likes being around Tsunohara, but because he's with Tsunohara a lot when they're alone too.
Right, and there's a difference between having fun kind of at his expense when they're both kind of ragging on each other or doing their little banter thing or whatever, right? Versus this where it's hey, come on, dude, that's not cool. Right?
Yeah, so within this situation, May wants to get to reconnect in some ways with her brother. her brother is feeling a bit caught in the middle here because something really cool is happening to him right now.
Yes.
But then also his sister is putting like him into these weird tests that he doesn't really fully understand or doesn't really understand why she's doing it. Maybe he understands that there is something that he's failing at, but it's another form of society standards being thrown at him that he's like,
her setting her expectations on him and him, not meeting them. So
so maybe he feels that, but he doesn't necessarily understand why she's doing it because there's all these games that are being put up in front of him that obfuscate what he's supposed to understand from this.
And so then he leans more heavily into the sort of the happy lie of, oh yeah, I've got a girlfriend and it's all great. Oh yeah, I'm cool and confident and we'll drop all these lines at school even though nobody likes them, and I end up getting kicked across the room a lot of the times as a result of them.
But yeah, we're seeing also just more emphasis as well in the ways in which he ends up trying to do everything he can to be close to Okazaki as well by like doing the toilet seat cover bit.
Right.
And then eventually he's like, oh, you could just stop doing that. He's like, but you're the one that told me to do that.
Right.
So it's like, oh, how does Tsunohara win in this case if his best friend is playing games with him to try and get him to just do what he wants? His sister is playing games with him to get him to do what he wants. This girlfriend that he'll find out is also playing games with him, theoretically, in his own perception of things, if revealed that this was a fake girlfriend all along. Tsunohara could have, I would say, a serious falling out with them as friends. I think that would actually be relatively justified in this case here.
And Okazaki is kind of, not really his only friend, but it's...
No, he is his only friend.
But yeah, he's his only friend.
He's actually his only friend.
The times when he interacts with other people, that's because they're interacting with Okazaki, and so then he kind of, by proxy, gets to hang out with them.
It's 100% that, yeah.
And so that's also probably got to be an interesting dynamic for Okazaki, where Tsunohara was his only friend, but he's not anymore, right? He's made a lot of other friends, and Okazaki's got a pretty good thing going.
Yeah, he's got a really good thing going. And then even then, when he's like pretending to be the boyfriend of Mei, he's like, oh, so what about Nagisa? He's like, oh, I'm gonna break up with her. And he's like, oh, so that's how it is. Like it's literally that, that blasé about it.
Right.
In some ways, the thing that I'm really excited for them to get into at some point is the point at which Tsunohara will bring up how much he's always liked Nagisa. And basically at this point, this is the time in where he's like, oh, if you're going to do this, then that just shows you never cared about Nagisa, whereas I did. And all those things that I did for Nagisa, just, I guess they don't mean anything.
Right.
I was trying to help you out, even though I liked her. I'm really interested to see if this ends up becoming a main plot thing, because I could also see it being a thing of where this is just Tsunohara's next arc that he's on.
Sure.
And it's a thing of where, Tsunohara does need to kind of learn the lesson to kind of swallow his pride a little bit and ask questions and see,
absolutely,
what is going on here, guys? I don't understand why you guys are doing this stuff. And then also be like, hey, I'm going to call you out on this stuff because what you're doing hurts.
Right.
And while I have to be vulnerable enough to kind of confront you, I also am friends enough with you guys that I can hold you guys up to a little bit of a higher standard than this.
Right.
Because it's not saying that you guys are inherently bad people for doing this, but I need you to know that if you care about me, you'll please stop doing this, because this is really, really like not helping, at all.
And the point at which it even stopped becoming about helping was, well, okay, so Mei has the whole part where she gets upset at her brother, right?
Right.
Understandably so. There's all the stuff going
Noticing
on there.
the bullying that was going on at the the playground.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so she says that thing of, oh, I came here to see a guy, and then she runs off, and it's like, oh, that might have been a bit much, right? And then he sees her with Okazaki, and they're having basically the perfect like brother sister hangout.
Yeah.
That she would have wanted from him.
Right.
Okay.
But she hasn't even told him, Tsunohara, that that's what she wanted.
Right.
And it's this thing of where I very much don't have what would I say? How would I say this? I don't care about the roles in the dynamic here as much as I do about the communication involved.
Ah, okay.
And I would say that May has failed utterly in the communication side of things.
And I think that's where she realized it, is when Okazaki's like, oh yeah, we're totally dating, and kind of pressured her into going along with the
lie.
The lie, right? Which obviously Tsunohara sees through, but it's, you know, it hurts, right?
It hurts because he's like, oh, you guys are doing this, but I don't really know why.
Right. And so he's pulling her into his whole thing of hurting her brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then I feel like that's when she realizes,
Wait a minute.
yeah, no, this isn't.
It wasn't a look back to be like, is he following me? It was how did that make him feel?
Right. Like,
yeah.
I had questions about this before, and now I'm like, yeah, no, that wasn't. This is not what I wanted, right? And then afterwards, she's all like dejected and you know, feeling horrible, right? And Okazaki has the stones to say, do you think maybe you should be heading home?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you kind of took a tender spot of their relationship and made it a whole lot worse for your own enjoyment. And then you have the balls to say, and why don't we leave it at that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I liked this bit here where Tsunohara comes pretty close to the answer. He's like, so basically checking up on me was just an excuse to begin with. And it zooms in on her. He's like, right? And then she's like, yeah, that's right. See? And then she tells the truth in that, yes, that's correct. But the lie is brought in of, I'm gonna lash out, basically, of this is what I'm actually here for.
After she turns away from him, so she's basically like she's not also attempting to actually understand him at that point, because she's like, oh, I get it, you know, and then looks away and says the whole thing.
But the way in which Okazaki kind of gets shocked, because I think on some level he potentially believes that May could be right here, or May could be telling the truth. And he's like, whoa, what are you gonna do if the guy's some scumbag? And he's like, what does he say here? Oh, what does he say here? The subtitles aren't popping up here. Oh, but love is a person's choice, basically. And then he starts picking at his fingers, which is a very like nervous anxious thing. And in some ways, I think what he might even be thinking about, and this I don't know if this goes that deep, but the idea that Okazaki and Nagisa chose each other, and that's just something he has to accept and be happy for them for. But he's probably still a little bit upset and sad that he didn't get the opportunity to be, close with Nagisa.
Right. And there is no one that would choose him. The only person that is choosing him right now is someone who is doing it as a pretend thing. And in fact, even from the standpoint
he doesn't know that, but yeah. Right, because it's a pretend thing.
No, he knows that Sanai is pretend dating him.
Wait, Tsunohara does?
Yeah, that because that was the whole point. It was to trick May, but he's wrapped up in like the whole, oh yeah, that's right, yeah, pretend date.
Oh God, I he was so into it in that regard that I thought he actually didn't know, and I just forgot for a second. So he does know that she's Sanai.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, because the whole thing of like, oh yeah, then
are you sure about that?
Then we'd be siblings, if you end up getting with Nagisa and everything. Like he is fully going into the like,
oh Jesus,
imaginary, like, oh yeah, this is so great.
I'm checking the previous episode here because that just feels like,
because how could he not, right?
That's a literal denial of reality. Like, is he that hopeless? Is that what they're trying to bring up here? Is that this is actually so bad that he literally denies?
Or wait, well, they might have.
I don't know, dude. I don't think. I think you're.
He might. Okay, I could be wrong because I think I remember them saying something about him thinking that she's like Nagisa's older sister. Or something.
Yeah, she's his older sister. I'm like, no, for Tsunohara's safety, we need to keep this a secret. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's just. Yep. That's right. Right. And that's why he could actually get wrapped up into the whole thing of, oh, maybe this could turn into like a legit dating thing, because he doesn't know that it's Nagisa's mom.
Right.
Right.
He might know that it's a fake deal here, and that it's for that, but I don't think he knows that it's Okazaki. So that it's
right. So there's nothing in his mind that is theoretically a hard impossibility.
But that's a very important thing to keep in mind here.
And that's something that Okazaki specifically decided not to tell him, which is another example of Okazaki basically having fun at Tsunohara's expense. Because Okazaki really got frustrated, not just when he was saying after Mei ran off, oh well, people will choose who they'll love. It was also the Senai might call, right? That's something where if he knew that, oh yeah, no, she's actually Nagisa's mom, dude, she's married, you don't actually have a shot, right? There would be probably a hell of a lot less conflict here, right?
Right.
But he's holding on to the hope that maybe, even though this is fake, even though I know this is fake, maybe it could turn into something real, right? Because every other person that I could maybe have called a friend of mine, when asked not if they would be my girlfriend, but if they would pretend to be my girlfriend, gave a resounding no.
No. Yeah.
Right? So yeah.
So he's getting wrapped up in the fantasy that this could become something real, but he is not aware that this is actually Sanai. And there we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, this is a good setup, kind of mid, maybe arc, like kind of dramatic cliffhanger, like stinger of an episode where we're either going to resolve it in the next episode or 2 episodes from now. But all right. Yeah. Y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.